rapid pace out here early in the second. Levert, hey, knocks it down. Rondo's on the run. Stops, hits Love fires. Cavs reset with a fresh 14. Under 3 to go in the half. Garland works on Holiday. Draws it for a moment, shovels to Mobley. Garland, step back three, drew a foul, knocks it down.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, channel agents, you are listening to episode 39 of the All Things Cleveland Cavaliers podcast. As always, I'm your host, Brandon Lewis, alongside my co-host, Joey Schneider.
What's going on, Brandon? Oh, man. You know, this is one of the first weeks that we're kind of don't have a whole lot to talk about Cavs-wise, but we are going to find stuff to talk about Cavs-wise, as we always do. How are you doing, man? How you doing?
You know, I'm doing okay. Things are going really well here at Believe Win. We got a couple of sponsors aboard, so this is your first time listening to All Things Cleveland Cavaliers podcast. Thank you for listening. As always, me and Joey break down everything Cavs, whatever's in the news, whatever's not in the news. We will find a way to entertain you for all 52 weeks of the calendar year. And even though we're here in the NBA offseason, you know what? It's July. The weather's getting nice out. It's summer. But we still got some basketball to talk about today.
We do. And, you know, to kind of kick it off, you know, Brandon, I'm a man of the people. I like to think of myself as a man of the people. So I put it out on Twitter. You know, if someone wants to ask a question, me and you will talk about that topic. So I'm going to give a shout out to Big B. His Twitter handle is @BigB_92 for this question. We really appreciate it. He said, congrats and good luck. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the potential of building a championship roster around Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, and if/what you think they need to add to the core, which is a very, very good question. And I will start this off, if you don't mind, Brandon. I think that last year we saw essentially what that was. We saw Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen as the core of this team. Now, I think that Darius Garland took that step to become a superstar. I think that, you know, he averaged 22 points, 9 assists a game last year. You know, very few players in the league average those kinds of numbers. You can see his defense obviously was better. Jarrett Allen is going to be Jarrett Allen. And I mean that in the sense of he was an all-star last year. He's going to always be a rock. He's going to always be consistent. He's going to always have a high field goal percentage. He's basically a walking double-double. Is he going to get you 30 and 20 a night? No. But is he going to get you maybe 18 and 10? Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, that's a stat. You know, he's also going to give you maybe 3 blocks a game or 4 blocks, a couple of steals. I mean, defensively, he's, you know, one of the better players in the league. Offensively, he's about as efficient as they come. And when you're looking for a center on your team, that's exactly what you want. Someone who can protect the rim, somebody who is a leader, and somebody who wants to win. And, you know, Jarrett Allen checks all those boxes. The biggest X factor for me is Evan Mobley. And I have said this on many occasions, many podcasts. I said that Evan Mobley could become a generational talent. Now, here's where, in my opinion, building around those 3 players, where is Mobley going to end up fitting into the Cavs when he reaches his max potential? Is he going to be one, you know, like a Tim Duncan, just a, you know, maybe a more athletic Tim Duncan? You know, Tim Duncan was, you know, the, you know, big fundamental, you know, that you just straight up one of the best power forwards of all time. Or is Mobley going to turn into something more of like a Giannis? Someone who can handle the ball, you know, how much muscle is he going to put on? How much more aggressive is he going to be? So that's where, for me, that question kind of comes off the rails a little bit. Is, you know, what you're going to get out of Darius Garland, you know what you're going to get out of Jarrett Allen. Where is Evan Mobley going to fit, and what is he going to truly become once he hits his prime, which we might not see for, you know, another, you know, we might not see exactly what he's going to be for the next 3 years. You know, he's going to keep getting better and better, But is he going to be a Tim Duncan style player, or is he going to be a Giannis style player? And that's assuming he's going to be, a superstar. And that's me assuming he's going to be a generational talent, which I do believe he will be. As far as that, I think that those are three huge core pieces that you need. I think that we still need a true small forward. We have about 17 shooting guards on the team right now, and you can just kind of plug and play whichever one you want. But those three are really a really great young core that most teams wish they had. So you really just kind of got to fill in. And, we talked about last week where we re-signed Rubio, we brought in Robin Lopez, we signed Raul Neto. So you just got to kind of round the roster out around them. But we do need to figure out who the other two starters are going to be, a shooting guard and a small forward. Arguably two of the most important positions on the court, depending on who you talk to.
I pretty much agree with everything you said. So to not beat a dead horse, I'm going to answer the question in a little bit of a different way. And by that, I'm going to answer by, in order for us to determine if the Cavs' current core can win a championship together, I think you have to first kind of project out where the Cavs are at now, where the rest of it, at least the Eastern Conference, is at now, and then where they're going to be over the next couple of years. So I think over the next few years, the Cavs competition, we obviously know Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're not going to go away. We know that Miami, no matter what I have said about Miami over the past year, they are always a very good basketball team. That shocked me every year because they should not be as good as they are, certainly a number one seed, in my opinion, on paper. Philly has one of the best centers in the league in Joel Embiid, if not the best center. They may not have the best talent around him, but they are always going to be an obstacle because of Joel Embiid. Then you have a team like Boston, who we saw this year somehow in many circles make the NBA Finals. And again, you could argue Chris Middleton was in there for Milwaukee. The Bucks could have beat the Celtics. Who knows? But Boston certainly had a great, well-rounded team. But I really don't feel like the Cavs are that far off from a Boston, from a Philly, from a Miami. I think, and we talked about it, I think they have the bodies that they can throw at Giannis Antetokounmpo to make it very difficult for him. And so I think in that sense, the Cavs are really in good shape. And I think in a couple of years, if you give, like you said, Evan Mobley, kind of that what if body, if he grows up and really gets into his man body and gets a little bit stronger, I think the Cavs are going to be a viable force in the Eastern Conference for years to come. And again, a couple of years ago, we talked about this a little bit during the playoffs. A couple of years ago, if you would have told me this current Cavs core could win a championship, I probably would have told you no, only because of the way that the NBA was going. It was a lot of star wings. It was a lot of, you needed a good point guard and not a great one. You needed kind of 3-star players, but you don't really need that anymore. And the league is changing, and Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are part of that. They're obviously mostly a jump shooting team. They have really good defenders, but they don't really have a ton of bigs. They're mostly scorers, and they just went out and they dominated the Western Conference and won the championship this year.
Yeah.
So,
and, you look at a team like Boston, who, and me and you've talked about this, Marcus Smart is actually, Marcus Smart and Al Horford, probably two of their older players. Horford is in his 30s, but, you look at Marcus Smart, and he's a guy who has been around. You think he's like 33, 34. He's only 28 years old. And that team has been so well built. They remind me a lot about, just like Toronto. You get Toronto in there too, because they have, Tatum. Tatum Brown is an all-star, even though he has not made an all-star team. He has been snubbed twice. Jaylen Brown's an all-star. That is, they have a lot of pieces on that team. Grant Williams emerged this year. Robert Williams, the center, emerged this year. They have a lot of great young talent on that team who are going to be very, very good years. And I think the Cavs somewhat have that as well. So you have a big three, technically, if you want to call them that, in Cleveland. But I think that, last year was their first full season together. We got to find out what Mobley's going to be. And this year, I think they're going to take a huge step. And I think, I really don't have any doubts in my mind that they are going to be a playoff team, not a play-in team, but a playoff team.
I think the biggest weakness the Cavs have that are stopping them from being a true championship contender right now is a pure wing score. And as much as we love Jared Allen, he's a great center. I'm not sure if him being the third or second best scorer on your team is a championship team. I'm not sure if him scoring 15 to 17, 20 points tonight, I'm not sure if that's going to work out as well for a championship team. I think you need a guy that can go get, right next to Garland, that can kind of even Garland's stat line of 20 and 25 a night. And then you throw in Mobley with around 20 and 10 boards and a couple blocks. And then Allen then becomes kind of your fourth scorer with maybe 15 and 12, but there's a lot of stuff on the defensive end of the floor. We've been saying it all offseason, the Cavs need another scorer. I think that is the biggest reason why they're not in true championship contender form. I'm not even sure it's the talent that's there right now. I think that obviously they're a little bit young and they need to be coming of age, but I think it's more of they don't have that guy that when Darius Garland is not on the court cannot get his own basket. That to me is a missing ingredient because when your primary scorer is not on the floor, you still have to find a way to put the ball in the basket.
I agree 100%. And speaking of somebody who could potentially be a scorer next to Darius Garland, we know it's the NBA Summer League. Brandon, I know you hate the Summer League. It is not your cup of tea, but I love watching the rookies play and see what they can do in the Summer League. And you still got some good players, some second year, even third year players who are playing in the Summer League. But man, Ochai Abaji for the Cleveland Cavaliers, our number 14th pick this year, 4-year starter at Kansas, national champion, putting up just big numbers. I mean, this kid, I know when we did our draft special, he is who you wanted. Myself and Joel, you really wanted him as well. Our pipe dream was Johnny Davis, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. But Abaji, we have always been high on. And, we landed him. And last night, in a losing effort, I will say, to the Hornets, but it's Summer League. No one cares if you win or lose. It's just about, it's basically a personal performance. Put up 24 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals while shooting 50% from the 3-point line and went 6 for 6 from the free throw line in only 29 minutes. I mean, people said he didn't have a high ceiling, that he was kind of going to be where he's at. And I can tell you this, anytime a rookie comes to the NBA, you have no idea what their ceiling is going to be. Yes, he's older, and that's a reason a lot of these players get knocks on them is, maybe they're a 3-year or 4-year starter, so they're not coming to the league at 19. You get them at 22, like we did with Abaji. But the Cavs needed someone who can drill that 3. And even if he just becomes a very good 3-and-D player, that's what the Cavs need. They need someone who can hit that 3, but he can do more than that as well. He can create his own shot. He can get to the rim. And on top of that, he is a really good defender. He had 3 steals last night. He gets after the ball. He doesn't commit a lot of turnovers. He doesn't commit a lot of fouls. He's extremely smart. His IQ is through the roof. I think that, I'm not going to say ceiling, but he potentially is an all-star if the Cavs give him if he fits in with the team and he plays the right position. Because as you said, the Cavs are missing a true small forward. I don't look at Abaji as a true small forward. He might play some there. I look at him more as a true shooting guard. And especially considering that, I mean, he is in college, he was shot over 40% from 3. He's shooting, I want to say 40, I think 46 or 47% so far in the summer league from three. You know, he can get to the line. He's doing pretty much a little bit of everything. He's showing why he should have been taken higher, but the Cavs got him at 14. And maybe this guy is this kid is the answer to those extra points we need.
So this is the thing I don't like at all about preseason or the summer league, which, in my opinion, by the way, is a complete money grab by the NBA. Congratulations on TV. You're making money for whatever. It doesn't matter what. I don't care if Abaji went 0 for 25 from the three-point line last night. That's 6 fouls in 2 minutes. And I don't care if he scored 70 points going 1-on-5 against people in a fast break. Fact of the matter is, Abaji's career starts when the first Cavs regular season game starts. And I know what people on the internet like to do because, we're the internet. We're so smart nowadays. Abaji goes out there. We got no star because he put up 25 points in the summer weekend, or he goes over in the summer weekend. He's a bust. Cavs made the worst pick of all time. That's what the summer league does. It gets people on the internet too excited or too worked up. You made a bunch of a pick, which is why we are here as the analysts of the Cleveland Cavaliers to knock some sense into those people. Don't listen to anybody on the internet that's talking about the summer league, folks. I'm here to say congratulations, Abaji. You scored, 24 points last night? Great job. Do it in the regular season. Then I'll start talking.
Man, you are very pessimistic about the NBA Summer League.
I am pessimistic about not just the NBA Summer League, the preseason, the whatever other sport preseason. I have been fooled way too many times by nonsense where they're charging fans full price to see guys that aren't even going to make the team, guys that don't even make the G League. To me, it's a scam to get people in the door. It's ridiculous. I've never liked it. But you know what? Good for Abaji for scoring buckets in the gym. Let's hope you do it in a real game against real boys when the season starts, because we are going to need you.
You got to get excited for something. I mean,
you know what I'm excited for? October, whatever it is, 14th, 15th, when the regular season starts. I'm not going, we blew somebody out in a preseason game. I've seen so many times where teams go 8-0 in the preseason and they win twice regular season. Like 0% stock. Zero.
And I do agree with you, but I'd like to look at the matchups of rookie versus rookie. And, especially when they're high picks and see, are these kids performing at a level that they should be? Because you're looking at he scores 24 points. He goes 4 for 8 from three, perfect from the free throw line, great on D. Well, we know that once that regular season starts, it ain't going to be that easy. It's, it's obviously, much tougher when you're playing, some of the, a team's full platoon of starters and rotation pieces as opposed to players right now who are either all the rookies or going to be in the G League or won't be in the league at all. So I completely understand what you're saying, but it's July 14th. We got some months until the regular season starts. I want something to be excited for now. Don't take this away from me, Brandon. Abaji looks good. A lot of the rookies look, a lot of the higher rookies that were taken are looking, pretty good. But Abaji has really stood out to me. And, like you said, hopefully he can do it in the regular season. But it gives me something to be excited for on July 14th, right? July 14th, 2022, as we're a few months away from the regular season.
Joey, let's talk some Cavs trade rumors, because there are more rumors out there about potentially Colin Sexton in or Donovan Mitchell on the move, or the Cavs after who could be a former Utah Jazz.
Well, this is extremely, extremely unique. I mean, I don't think, a lot of the rumors are saying that, the Jazz have had talks with the Cavs for a sign and trade for Sexton. I think that might be the case, but I don't believe it's involving Donovan Mitchell. I think that the Knicks probably have a better chance of landing Donovan Mitchell than the Cavs do. I know that they're deep in talks, and we'll see what happens. But I have this feeling, and it's been talked about, it's been reported on that there's a potential in a sign and trade for Colin Sexton for Mike Conley. I hate that. You're talking about, I mean, I love Mike Conley's career. I really do. I think he's had a heck of a career. I think that I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Might be. He might be a fringe Hall of Fame player. I mean, I know he's been to some All-Star games. He's put up 20 a season, and he's been consistent basically his entire career. But I don't want a 34-year-old Mike Conley. We signed, Ricky Rubio. We signed Raul Neto to kind of back up Garland until Rubio gets better. What would be the point of doing a sign and trade of Sexton for a 34-year-old Mike Conley? I don't like it. I might be the only one, and I don't want to hear any of this crap about, oh, well, he went to Ohio State. A lot of players went to Ohio State. Yeah, I'm a huge Ohio State fan, but just because you went to Ohio State doesn't mean I want you on the team. If this was, if we didn't have Darius Garland and this was 8 years ago, sure, let's bring in Mike Conley. But the asking price back then was probably astronomical. So I think that there might be a 3-team deal going on here. I think that maybe in some way, shape, or form, you might, if this goes down, it might be the Knicks, the Jazz, and the Cavs. And the Cavs are going to get something. Who knows? Maybe it's first-round picks. I don't know. We don't need picks, though. We need players. And you know who I'd rather have over Mike Conley? I'd rather have Bogdanovich, a true small forward who can shoot the three. I'd rather have him over Mike Conley. I think that'd be a great fit here in Cleveland. We can also, the Knicks can take Jetty, and the Jazz can take Windler, and boom, we're good to go.
Yeah, I think there's some rumors out there. Like we've been done. The Cavs are going to have to make a move. I think Jetty Osman, Dylan Windler will probably more than likely not be on this team come the opening day roster. I think they're going to find a way to move both of them. Now, whether or not it's a free team trade or whether it's a smaller trade is not the here nor there. We mentioned this a little bit. I believe it was on the air. It might have been off the air, but I'm almost 90% certain that it was on the air. You had mentioned that Colin Sexton reminds you a little bit of Donovan Mitchell at a cheaper price.
I have said that, yes.
And so for me, and listen, Donovan Mitchell is a very great to good player. He reminds me of Devin Booker in a way. Great regular season player, not sure about his postseason intangibles. I would understand from the Knicks perspective, trying to get him in MSG, trying to sell tickets, whatever. They'll still lose in the first round like they do every single year. From the Cavs perspective, and by the way, yes, it is a shot at the Knicks. From the Cavs perspective, I do not understand this move at all. I'm 100% with you. I don't care if a guy goes to Ohio State. Mike Conley, if he fit here, I would get it. He doesn't fit here to me. The Cavs need they have their veterans. They have Robin Lopez. They have Kevin Love. I think we're set there. I think we do need one impact player. And whether or not Sexton's in the deal, if it's Sexton for Mike Conley, I think it's kind of a pointless deal for the Cavs. It'd be one move I would question. But to me, the bigger story here is it is July 14th. How many times have we said it's July 14th today? It must be a record. And there is no inkling whatsoever on Colin Sexton as a market. Where is he going to sign? Is he just going to come back to the Cavs? I mentioned this last week. I thought for sure Sexton would have a market coming out of free agency somewhere around that $18 to $20 million range. And it looks like right now the Cavs could get him back at that restricted qualified offer. And hey, that would be a win for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a 7.2 or $7.4 million qualifying offer.
And don't they only have? And I'm sorry to interrupt, but don't players only have like 12 or 14 days or something like that to go looking before they have to accept the restriction? Or I could be totally wrong on that.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I do know that. I know that I don't know the time frame if they have a time frame or not because the Cavs may be looking. Maybe I'm right. Maybe everyone else is wrong. Maybe it's not for Mike Conley. Maybe it's for Bogdanovich, which would make sense for the Cavs. I mean, that would make 100% sense for the Cavs. The Jazz give up Mitchell to the Knicks, and in return the Jazz get basically a replacement for Donovan Mitchell. Well, who knows? And maybe a plethora of picks from the Knicks. I don't know, but I can say this. I think the best move for the Cavs and for Colin Sexton is this. I think Colin Sexton should sign the qualifying offer. Here, you come back for 1 year, ball out, and then Cavs, let's say he has an all-star season. Cavs have a really, really tough decision to make at that point because his value is going to skyrocket. And, if he helps the Cavs go, make a deep run or something like that, we'll see what the Cavs are going to have to do next season. But if we can't sign him, though, then he will have a much bigger market next year. And maybe, he'll get the money he wants. But his market's just not there this year.
So I proposed this, I want to say during our drive special, I asked the question, would you be willing to bring Colin Sexton back on a 1-year deal? And pretty much all you guys told me, nah, it's not going to happen. He's either going to be gone or he's going to get a multi-year extension. And pretty much right now, I think you're right. I think the 1-year deal to me looks very good. And I am comfortable with him getting a 1-year deal. I think it makes sense. I've always been comfortable with the idea of him helping us out for 1 year. And if he balls out, the way I kind of look at it is, okay, if he balls out, if he wants to leave for free agency and get a big payday, to me, we can accept that because I think at that point, again, it's order of a projection like we are doing with our young guys in Mobley and Garland. But I think at that point next year, you can slide Abaji into the starting lineup, and then he can be your two guard going forward and produce the same amount of points that I think Sexton would give you. I think obviously Sexton would bring an extra punch this year, but if he goes on a 1-year deal and then leaves next year after giving the Cavs great minutes, I'm not going to lose sleep over it because we were already prepared to potentially lose him this offseason.
I think Sexton's a great young player, and like I said, he is still young. What is he? 23 maybe. Potentially 24,
might be 22 even.
Yeah, I mean he's extremely young. He's, like I said, I don't view Donovan Mitchell that much. He's clearly higher than Colin Sexton, but I don't think he's so much higher that it would make this massive difference. Because here's my view on Donovan Mitchell is this: I love Donovan Mitchell, I really do. I love his game, I love his nickname. But he is to me a poor man's Damian Lillard, and Colin Sexton I view as below Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell's a guy who, on the right team with some good pieces, is going to stand out like he did on Utah, and could possibly be a part of a championship team. But he's not the guy who's going to win you a championship. He's not. It's not going to happen. He can be. To me, he is basically a Klay Thompson. He would, great player, all-star without a doubt, but he's not Steph Curry. So I don't think if there is talks of him coming to Cleveland, I just don't see the value in that either. And everyone's like, yeah, if the price is right, why not? Well, because the Cavs have other needs. And we have a lot of pieces.
Well, here's the thing, and again, I don't know what the money would be, but if you don't have to give up Allen, Mobley, or Garland. Maybe you'd have to throw in Marketing, though I would love to keep Marketing and put Mitchell in the two.
Marketing would have to be thrown in only because it's the only way to make the money work.
Okay.
So here's, I will say this. He's actually fairly affordable considering how good he is and how young he is. He's only 25 years old. And he's $30 million a year, and he's signed for the next 4 years. So you're getting a star player for 4 years. That's why the asking price is going to be astronomical. I don't think that you would have to include any of our big three. At least my opinion. If it was for a Durant, I think you would probably have to. But for Mitchell, I think that you would have to be like Markkanen, Okoro, Sexton to make the money work. Because that should almost get you there. That would get you. That would almost be.
See, now to me, Mitchell is a good enough player where if you make that trade, I think the Cavs become the second best team in the East.
Well, it's not just those three players. I think you would probably also have to go 3 first-round picks.
Which to me is fine because those late round picks are going to be 25, 26. You would hope at least down the road. So I'm okay with that. I mean, considering the fact that Minnesota gave up 4 first-round picks to go get Rudy Gobert, you would think there's going to have to be some sort of heavy first-round pick involved. But at that point, like the Cavs of this young core, I think are trying to win. I don't think that they are trying to make any drastic moves at the same time. But that would be a move that, hey, listen, Okoro, as good as he's been defensively, we don't know if his offensive game is ever going to get to the level of Donovan Mitchell. As great as Colin Sexton is, if he comes back, we could lose him at the end of the year. And as great as Markkanen has been for us, he is an expendable piece with all the bigs that we do have. So from a Cavs perspective, I think it would make sense. I think you put Mitchell at the 2, you revert probably at the 3 then at that point. And I think that is as at least a conference championship team. If not, if you get the right lucky bounce, that to me is a potential, like, I don't want to say championship because if you make the finals, I think you can still win a championship, but that's as close I think the Cavs could get this year to being a real championship contender.
I will say a Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell backcourt would be scary as hell. I almost don't know who. I don't know. Opposing teams. I don't know. The thing is the game's 5-on-5, but there are clearly players that are just better. Well,
basketball is the one sport where again the superstars matter the most because they can take the game over.
Right, but when you have maybe 3 superstars and an all-star on the court, very hard to
you can't double anybody.
Exactly. Someone's going to be open, and even you let's say you start LeVert at the small forward, and this is assuming that we get Donovan Mitchell, which is not going to happen. But we're just having a little bit of fun here. LeVert can create his own shot. I mean, so who knows? We'll find out what's going to happen with Sexton here. I'm going to assume fairly soon, but a lot of rumors going around involving Sexton and the Jazz, and also the Jazz and the Knicks, and also the Jazz and the Heat. They're interested. The Jazz, I think the Jazz want, or not the Jazz, the Heat want their starting 5. At this point, there are so many rumors involving the Heat. I think that they want their starting 5 to be, I think it would be Kyle Lowry. They may have to give up Lowry. I don't know who their point guard would be, but it would Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and I don't know. You could let's put Brandon Lewis out there on the court for the Heat. I mean, you probably average at least 10 and 5 a game.
I mean, I commend Miami for trying. I've said it. I thought they were overrated the whole year. They tried to prove me wrong the whole year, and then Boston thankfully knocked them out for my sake in the Eastern Conference. I said I'm not scared of Miami. I am not scared of Miami as they're currently constructed. I think the Cavs are healthy. Listen, they fell apart at the end of last year. I think the Cavs would give the Heat, in my opinion, everything they could possibly handle and more if they would have met in the postseason if the Cavs were healthy last year. But let's just get to October. Like at this point, Sexton, make a decision so we can talk about it, and then we'll have about 6 weeks of trying to figure out what to talk about, and then boom, NBA, we get started right in October. It's been a fun 82 game season.
There you go. Well, Brandon, I think it's time to end the show. I'm a little sad. Episode 39 next week. Big milestone, everyone. Episode number 40. We are really, we're humming along here. We're only a couple months away from almost a full year of all things Cavaliers.
And saying it's been a hell of a ride, learning each other's takes, learning each other's opinions. We've had a lot of agreements. We've had a lot of back and forth. It's always great to be here with you guys. Of course, we will be here throughout the entire summer. There may be some weeks like this today where you could say maybe we stretch a topic here or there, but we always try to make it fun for you guys. The Cavs really are a 52 week, 365 day year-round business, and for that we got to talk about them.
Well, Brandon, I just want to say one thing: the NBA Summer League does matter because it's fun to watch, and there's only thing left for you to do.
Let them know.